All right, so I got another cool problem for you guys. I did another project at my house, okay? But as you can see, I'm not at my house right now. I'm actually up in the Millennium Falcon, just taking a quick little ride, and then I'll be back down. But I did something this past week at my house, and I think you guys will like it. I'll show you some pictures from it, and I'll give you some of the details. You can try to figure out the math of it and see how it went and how it looks at the end. So here we go. So I put in a basketball hoop this past week. My family was looking for something else to do. We wanted to shoot some hoops, but we didn't have our own hoop yet. We wanted to put a good one in, and Dick's Sporting Goods had a bunch of sales on them, so we went and bought one, and we brought it home. But we had to do a lot of work to make sure that it went in right. So I'm going to kind of walk you guys through some of the steps that we had to do. I'll give you guys the information, give you part of the problem, and you can put it together and submit your answers to me and how you think this went. So we first had to dig a really big hole, and that's Addison in that big hole. Now Addison's about 4 feet tall, okay? So that's a deep hole. The hole's actually 3 feet down, okay? From the top of the grass to the bottom of the hole, it's 3 feet. To help, you might want to think about how many inches that is, but that's 3 feet down. Now at the top of the hole, we had to build a frame, like a box with those 2x4s that you see, those pieces of wood. Okay, the opening of the top of the hole before we pour this concrete in it is 16 inches by 16 inches. Okay, so a square at the top, 16 inches by 16 inches. And then before I said it was 3 feet down. Okay, so you can think about how big that hole is now. Maybe you should find the volume of that hole. Okay, so find the volume of the hole. I would definitely do it all in inches or all in feet. It's up to you, but I would definitely convert everything to have the same units of measurement. Now that concrete, it comes in 80-pound bags or 60-pound bags of concrete mix. So I actually used 7 of the 80-pound bags to fill up that hole. But I also had to put in 2 of the 60-pound bags to fill up that hole also. So 7 80-pound bags and 2 60-pound bags. So do a little bit of math there and you can figure out how many total pounds of concrete mix went into that hole that you saw Addison, standing out of. And we put it all in there. We got it all nice and smooth and ready to go. And it had to sit there for 3 days so the concrete can get really hard. It's called curating the concrete. And then that way it's strong enough to put the basketball hoop on top. So after we waited for 3 days, we were allowed to put the pole up, the backboard, everything else, because that concrete was now hard enough to support all the other weight that's going to be standing on top. All right, so here's the finished product. We're really happy with how it turned out. Addison's really excited to have a basketball hoop in our driveway. But I've got some questions for you now about the problem that I want you to submit to me. So the first one would be, what's the volume of the hole we dug? So what is the volume, the space that's inside that hole? Okay. The second thing I want you to send over to me is how many pounds of concrete did we dump into that hole? Okay, so how many pounds of concrete did we dump into that hole? Now for a little added bonus, okay, little challenge here. Try to figure out, okay, how many cubic inches or cubic feet, if you figured it out that way, okay, but how many cubic inches or cubic feet would only 1 pound of concrete fill up? So if I just dumped 1 pound of concrete in there, how much of that space, those cubic inches or cubic feet, would only 1 pound of concrete fill up? I'll put all the important information on the page for you guys so you can go back and check it out. You can listen to this video as many times as you need to come back and understand the problem. And obviously, if you need to message me, okay, but work through that. Hey, definitely use a calculator. So I hope you like this problem. I think it's going to be a while before I get home. It looks like they dropped me off at the wrong stop. So, Millennium Falcon, we may have a problem here. You may have to come back and get me. All right, Mr. Kennedy, out.